Bit of a departure from our normal show today, guys. A big job has broken out at the homestead, so I'm going to show you what we've been up to. So this is the English ivy that's attached to our rear wall at the back as it backs onto the council centre. And you can see there that it's actually growing in the wall. It's pulling the bricks and mortar out with it as we're taking it out there. And you can obviously see the damage where the roots or the vines are getting in. The English ivy's getting in to the mortar and everything as it goes round. It's growing. There's none growing on our side. It's all coming on this side. It needs to be sorted out. Me and Darrel are just sorting it out now. We're clearing it, but there's going to be an hell of a lot of work to do on this because it's all along the wall, coming up from various locations, and it's really, really thick. It's a real tangled mess of ivy there that's built in, and it's growing into the wall. So obviously that's what's causing the damage. The weight that's in this corner is pulling the wall over this way, where the bend in our wall is. It's pulling it this way, which is causing the damage and the risk of collapse. So yeah, we've got our work cut out, mate, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
So this is the English ivy, and this is what it's done. It's all inside the wall. It's needed to be maintained, but we've maintained it on our side. But, well, that's our side. But on that side, no. And that's where it's grown from. It's grown from the other side of the wall. And it devastates the walls.
I got it.
So we're taking the wall down. We're going to take it out. Well, this ivy is the problem, really.
There we go. Now I'm picking up some pace. There's another one down.
I can't clear it off. It needs a chainsaw or something to take it off, and I haven't got one. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle, that. But you can see where it's pulling the wall that way, and it's getting into the wall and causing the damage.
I'm getting a lot better at taking these down. Should I start on this bit?
Just take these ones out here, mate, but be very careful, obviously. No dropping onto your toes. That one should just pull out.
Yep.
We're trying to retain as many of the bricks as we possibly can. Now, as you may have guessed, the damage to the wall from the ivy was more extensive than we first thought. In fact, it was too extensive to even consider repairing the wall. It would have never been stable again. So we've had to take it down, as you'll see in this next section. So from now on, don't be thinking that the wall's going to get repaired. It's not going to get repaired. It's going to get taken down and replaced by fencing. Okay, it's become a big job. Okay, so we've taken the wall down so that it's about between 10 and 16 inches ish, because the ground on the reverse side is undulating. It's not flat, it's not straight, it's not level. But we've taken the wall down. There was a lot of damage from that English ivy. English ivy is banned in many parts of the country, and it should be banned altogether, really, over in this country, because it's so invasive and destructive. It's no joke. Anyway, enough moaning and groaning. I'll show you where we're up to with the progress. All right. Now, as you can see there, temporarily I've put in those road spikes, I think they're called, and hammered those in, and put the bunting tape, the warning bunting tape around it. So it's a bit of a barrier. It's a visual barrier, really. It's not too much of a physical barrier, but it's a visual barrier so that people don't come too close and fall over the edge. So it's safety first, guys, all the time. I've taken the wall down to about 3 or 4 feet away from where it joins the ginnel at the back. The ginnel is the covered part that I've got there. There's a little shed. That may have to come down altogether, but we'll see how we go with it. I'm going to see if I can straighten it up. I've got a diamond blade, but I've only got a small angle grinder. So I'm seeing if I can straighten that up and make it vertically straight, and then render it afterwards and see if we can save that bit of a wall. But obviously it's all about safety. That's only going to be a short section of wall, and it is double brick thick, so it shouldn't be too bad. If I can make it good, I'll render both sides of it and have that as a feature that's going to be staying. But as you can see, there's a ton of brick. There's actually probably about 3 tons of bricks that I've got to shift. Magical Mick Darbys just coming down after dinner, so he's going to give us a bit of a lift, so that'll be great. But where the existing wall is on the adjoining side, that's a fence that was put in, and it's a pretty sturdy fence, so we're going to be coming off from that. I've got loads more timbers. We're going to be producing something. I'll just swizz you around here. We're going to be producing something fence-wise that's going to be similar to this. It's going to be similar to that, to the fence that's existing on that side. But what we want to be doing on this phase of the work, ideally, I want to be completing the fence section so that it actually fills this gap where the kids can get in. So it's, as long as we can fill this gap this weekend up until this post, then we should be okay. We've prevented egress into our side and potential accidents from happening, haven't we? So that's what we're going to be doing. All this brickwork that's come down, that's the ivy. Now I can't separate the ivy from that brickwork. It's integrated totally into it, absolutely. And it's what's caused the damage, because you can see on that side where the ivy roots have been coming up, and they've absolutely destroyed that. So that'll need to be rebuilt afterwards, this wall section. So the low wall that I've taken down to that level will need to be repaired, and it'll need bricks replacing and fortification done on it. All of this here on this side, this ivy, this is the ivy, look. That'll need to be eradicated and cleared off. So as part of this week's work, I'm going to try and get rid of all of this on this side so that it never comes back. And I will be using herbicides on that. But yeah, there's nothing we could have done about that. It's on this side, if you like, innit? So I don't want to moan about it too much, but it sticks in my craw a bit that we've had to do all this work. But that wall's relatively straight and vertical compared to how it was on this section. It was all being pulled over that way, pulled and pushed really by the ivy that's still attached to the brickwork there. That's a big clump of brickwork that when I was taking this wall down, I gave it a really, really good series of shoves and knocked it over. That's solid though there. That's pretty solid, that. So we're going to be leaving that. I had to knock about an extra couple of feet of brick out from there to get that to be down to where I wanted it, where it was solid and stable. So yeah, I've got to try and extricate the ivy from all of that brickwork, but it's really knotted in through it. So yeah, that's going to be about an hour's worth of a job. Clearing all these bricks out is what we want to be doing today if we can. Getting rid of all the brick into the skip that I've got at the back there. There's a skip at the back there, an 8-yard skip. So yeah, that's where we're on. That's what we're up to, guys. So yeah, it's the last real bank holiday until Christmas this. We've got 3 days. And what a way to spend it. Right, so here we are. We're just clearing out there from this passage. There's Mick. We've taken it down, obviously, and this is the level of the wall, how the wall's going to be. Which is about, well, it's between 14 inches and it fades away to about 8 inches there because of the level of the soil on that side. But what we want to do is fix this wall up, make good, after we've removed all this. But as you can see, all the vine is still in place, and it's eating its way all the way through the foundations of this. We've just chopped that down with a diamond blade on a grinder, and that's what it took, because the saw was going nowhere near it, was it? No. So that's what we've had to do. Them capping stones there, we've managed to save the majority of those, so it's probably going to be the case that we'll straighten up that wall, rebuild back in with a brick. That's going to be for a later date though, because we want to get that fencing on this side if we can this weekend. But all this rubble is still to be shifted. So we've about another hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Jobs are good.
Jobs are good.
Here's Mick.
Knackered, mate.
Knackered, yeah. It's been hot today, hasn't it, for a change? So there was a massive pile of bricks there. I'll show you in a second what we've moved today, but we've moved about 4 tons of bricks today. We're keeping hold of these ones, and we've got a few other good bricks that we've put to one side so that we can rebuild that back up, clean it all out, give it a good wash through, get rid of any loose stuff, point it then, and then build out from that so that we've got a flat section there that I can render up, and the same on that side. That's the idea. And then these header stones, which would probably cost you about 100 quid each, £100 each, are going to be put on the top of this low wall then. Obviously we're going to make it good and then finish it off with all of those. But the fence is going in tomorrow, and it's going to be a similar sort of a style to the one that's existing here, and that fence is going to go across there. The job should be a relatively good one. I'm going to carry on clearing out this now.
I'm going home.
And Mick's going home for a beer. Thanks a lot, man. See, we can do that now without fear of COVID. Yeah, not that we stopped doing it when it was COVID on. But yeah, so that's all going to be tied up, rendered and all that. That's going to be for another day. But getting the fencing is going to be the job for tomorrow if we can. Run off from this fence, meet up with that one over there, and just fill in that gap. Send the posts in. Right. Alright, so I'm guessing there's about 4 tons in there. That was empty this morning, obviously, and we've just filled it up, me and Mick. 4 tons of brick, mostly brick, and an old weights bench, and all the rubble that is associated with the brick. But yeah, we've done well today, me and him. Thank you very much, Mick. Cheers, pal. Off he goes on his travels. See you later, Mick. Top banana, Mick. We've done some work on that today. We've done probably 6 hours. 6 hours worth of work done. I better watch for the music strike. Yeah, so basically that's why I've not been posting much of late. I've been working and I've been doing this. It's got to be done. Okay, so stay tuned for tomorrow, where we should be able to show you a fence being put up. Got a couple of posts to put in and then put the fence in. It's going to be an all timber fence that we're putting up for this section, just to fill the gap that's behind me. We don't want that gap. And then these are going to be coming down as well. As you can see, all the deterioration to the outhouses, the outbuildings, they're going to be coming down. And hopefully in a couple of weeks' time we'll have a decent yard, a decent backyard area. The house is pretty big inside. It's quite a good size, the house. But we've only got a limited amount of land. This is all we've got at the back, and we've nothing at the front. So we're just trying to beautify it, make it good. These walls, this house was built in 1863, and so were the walls. So they've stood the test of time, really, nearly 160 years. And they would have probably lasted to 200 years had it not been for all of this. This horrible stuff that's growing within the walls. Anyway, you've been beautiful, fragrant and fantastic if you've been a lady. You've been forthright, masculine and virile if you've been a gentleman. I've been Good and Offender. That's been Mick Derbyshire. And so long, farewell, adieu. And we'll see you tomorrow. Love you all. Ta-da now, boys and girls. See ya.